it's Regan. Welcome back to another episode of Cozy Up with Regan and Friends, the Deep Clean Edit. Happy 2026. Happy New Year. I hope your holidays were fantastic, great, spectacular, everything you dreamed of. I spent Christmas in Austin, Texas, and then I spent New Year's in Dallas, Texas. And I just got home a day or two ago. And I am just so grateful for my family and all my friends during this season of life. I am so hopeful and optimistic for 2026. I have just had this feeling that this year is going to just be fabulous. My 2025 was so good. We had so many blessings, but we also made so much progress in weaning out the bad and the ugly and trying to make self-improvements in many different areas. And I just know that all of those are going to come through even more and stronger and healthier in 2026. And that is why I am so excited. And I'm also so excited because I'm finally starting this fun little idea that I'm calling the Deep Clean Edit. It will be every other Monday, just me, myself, and I, and you. And we will talk about everything from my weight loss to Botox and filler to being gluten-free to I don't know, gastritis and Crohn's and psoriasis and weird medical information that most people don't care to know about. To it could even be traveling and lighthearted things like having a dog or starting a podcast, how to start a podcast, what it takes to start a podcast. It could be anything under the sun. And that is why I am so excited, because this is truly so therapeutic for me. It is so good for me to just get my thoughts out of my head into a microphone and out to y'all. And I hope you enjoy it just as much as I enjoy making it. Today's episode, we're just going to start off with a bang. We're going to start off with an obvious interest of most people, a story that a lot of people know, but maybe don't know in detail. We are going to talk about how I lost 180 pounds in 2 years. More so, how I lost 100 pounds in less than a year. We're just going to jump right into it. Yes, I'm on Ozempic. Yes, I'm on a GLP-1. I am on a compounded tirzepatide. It is a shot I take every single week, and I have been taking that shot since March of 2025. So about 9 months, almost 10 months by the time this episode is uploaded. About 10 months, and in 10 months, I have lost 110 pounds on the shot. I lost 80 pounds naturally prior to taking the shot, and then I reached a plateau. So once I moved to Arizona in 2023, my life completely changed. I stopped drinking as much. I was more physically active. I was eating maybe a little bit better. And just that alone, I lost 30 pounds. Once I lost those 30 pounds, I was like, oh, I can do this for sure. So then I kept trying and making different efforts of, working out and trying to be consistent. However, then I went to the doctor at one point just to do some routine labs. I've had a history of medical issues, and routine lab work is a must. During my routine labs, we found out I was pre-diabetic, which definitely scared me. There's been a lot of things. When you're a plus size girl, there's a lot of things where you might think like, oh, that's your rock bottom. Like me needing a seatbelt extender in an airplane. That was almost a rock bottom, but it didn't stop me enough. Or a stranger calling you fat, or you not fitting into the clothes you used to think were so huge and now they're too small. There's a lot of things that could be your rock bottom. My rock bottom was being told I was pre-diabetic, because I know as soon as you do cross from pre-diabetic to diabetic and your pancreas is now going in overload or simply just not working, I know that is not just, it's so common and everyone hears about it, but it's not just a little thing. Having to be on insulin and having to monitor your sugars and make sure like you are manually maintaining your body because your body can't do it. That is not a minor thing. And I knew as soon as she said I was pre-diabetic, I knew I could still get out of it, and I knew I had to. So I talked to a nutritionist or a dietitian, and I learned what pre-diabetes means and what I needed to do. That'll be a oops, sorry. That'll be a whole episode in itself. But I lost another 40 pounds or maybe like I lost another 20 pounds, just with many more dietary changes and trying to live a more active lifestyle and trying to get out of the prediabetes range. What really made me lose majority of the natural weight that I lost was about 2 years ago, I started having stomach pain. I had constant stomach pain for, I would say, 2 to 3 weeks. And then something happened that caused me to have to go to the ER. When I went to the ER, they did all these kinds of tests. They did CT scans. They did this, that, and another thing, with little to no answers, because what I really needed was to go to a gastroenterologist and get an endoscopy or colonoscopy done. But at the time, they said, eat a bland diet and follow this rule, follow that rule, follow this rule. And I said, aye, Captain, we'll do it. So a bland diet meant no seasoning, no cheese, no dairy, no fried food, no caffeine, no bubbles, no this, that, or another thing. I was eating unseasoned chicken, unseasoned salmon, maybe rice, white pasta, white flatbread, Wonder Bread, damn near, because anything about a bland diet is like, you don't want the whole grains. You want the white processed things because they're actually easier on your tummy to digest. But from eating a bland diet, so basically nothing fun, nothing with flavor, nothing this, nothing that, I lost another, 20 to 30 pounds. And at that point I was down about like 80 to 90 pounds. And I thought, okay, for sure, like, this is probably where I'm going to stay. Like, this is probably as good as I'm going to do. I'd plateaued. I thought that, all right, like, we can talk about plastic surgery now. Cause I'd always known that, being a big girl, I was 330 pounds at my heaviest. Being a big girl, I knew that if I lost a significant amount of weight, that plastic surgery would probably be necessary just because I'd have a lot of loose hanging skin. So I thought, 80 pounds down, I was like, oh, now is the time. Now let's call a plastic surgeon. Let's get the arms worked on, the stomach worked on, the legs worked on. Let's do it all. So I made an appointment with a plastic surgeon, and when I went into the appointment, I'm sure they were thinking like, what is this girl doing here? But they were so sweet. I go to Dr. Howarth in Paradise Valley down here in Arizona. I cannot recommend her enough. You will hear much more about her in the upcoming months. But I go to Dr. Howarth, plastic surgery in Paradise Valley, and she was asking me all kinds of questions, and she was asking me what I was, really truly looking for. And I was wanting my double chin liposuctioned, and I wanted my stomach liposuctioned. I wanted my arms worked on, because I've always hated my arms. I have always, any person who knows me knows I hate my arms because I have a muscle deformity that caused this little lump in my arm. And I've always been super insecure about it, and I've always just hated it. And anyway, long story short, I was like, I'm going to go to this plastic surgeon because I've lost so much weight. And which 80 pounds, I'm not knocking my 80 pounds, but if you know the rest of the story, that's not where I ended. But she was so nice. And she was like, all right, like, is this exactly where you want to be? In a perfect world, is the weight you're at right now where you want to be? I was still 260 pounds. And when she worded it like that, I was like, no, of course not. Of course I don't want to still be here. Like, I just was giving up and being lazy and thinking this is as good as it would get, because now I had to put in some effort, which before I really didn't have to put in any effort. And I was like, to be honest, no, this isn't where I would want to be in a perfect world. She's like, okay, let's get you where you want to be, and then we'll do plastic surgery. And I was like, how are we going to do that? She said they had a NP on site. Her name was Gigi. They said she's fabulous, this and that. We can talk about maybe doing a GLP-1. I had talked to a different doctor previously about doing a GLP-1, and we ended up not doing it. One, just because the price of it, and two, I was scared. I was scared of all the side effects and all of this and all that and all the horror stories, and like some people it doesn't even work for them. And like, I just I wasn't in the mindset or the interest to put in the effort that a GLP-1 requires. But at this point, I was slightly more motivated. I wanted to hear about it again. It had been, maybe a year since I had been talked to about a GLP-1. So I go to my first appointment and Gigi's like, we should do this and we should just give it a try. We're going to do this, that, and another thing. I'm like, you know what? Let's go for it. When I talk to my dad, he's a physician. He doesn't give me much medical advice, but every once in a while he'll throw something out there. And when I was talking to him about this, I was like, Dad, I'm scared. I'd think like, I don't know if I really want to do it. There's so many side effects and so many bad things that can happen. Pancreatitis, thyroid cancer, paralyzed stomach, or gastroparesis. And he's like, you know what? He's like, yeah, those could happen. Any medicine, any medical procedure, anything under the sun has side effects. Some of them are horrible side effects. Some of them are minute. He said, but in the case of a GLP-1, the potential reward outweighs any risk so greatly because it's the dream. It's the dream any overweight plus size person has ever dreamed about, is losing the weight, getting thin, getting healthy. Like, it is truly the dream. It is something at least I used to dream about all the time. And when my dad he never really advocates for things, especially I didn't think he would for this, but it sounded like he was pushing for it. And I was like, you know what, if he thinks it's a good idea and he thinks I should try, I want to try. So we got on the medicine and I started the medicine in March of 2025. And I honestly can say with confidence, I had little to no side effects this whole time. And I think, and I will go so much deeper into this in the next episode or two, I'll probably do a back-to-back weight loss episode. It is so important to stay on top of your vitamins, stay on top of your protein, stay on top of your electrolytes, stay on top of your blood work, stay on top of your fiber. Like, it sounds like a lot, but those are just such easy things to supplement. Just do it all in the morning and you're done for the day. Those are so, so, so important. And they all have so much weight to them that you stay on top of that, you're not going to have side effects. The people who have the side effects are the people who take the pill and sit on the couch and either starve themselves or continue to eat junk, or, those are the people who are getting these horrible, horrible, horrible side effects. Obviously, some of them are incontrollable and some of them have nothing to do with what you're eating. The only side effects I did get is I got lightheaded. I still do. I think that just was such a drastic, I would say I lost 90 pounds in 4 or 5 months. And then I've kind of been teetering the last 20 pounds that I've lost on this medicine. But 90 pounds in 4 months is absolutely insane. So I shrunk down and changed my diet completely. And then my body was just going near. It was all over the place and it was going sideways, back and forth, up and down. And I was working out and lifting and eating, I don't know, my body was just going through it. So I was getting lightheaded. And then sometimes the day after my shot, I'd get tired. And sometimes the night of my shot, I would get a little bit nauseous. And that's literally it. I can't recommend it enough because I truly didn't have a bad experience. And it worked. It did exactly what it needed to do. People like my mom have tried all kinds of the different medications because there's Mounjaro, there's Zepbound, there's Ozempic, there's Wegovy, there's all the smaller market ones, there's pills, there's, Ro, whatever. My mom's tried them all and none of them have worked. I've heard of other stories of people trying different kinds. They don't work. I've heard of other people just saying all they did was throw up. And they ended up having to get off of it. Sure, they lost weight, but that's just because they weren't eating and they were throwing up. It is so different. And that's another thing that kind of motivated me to try it is because anything else, even birth control, I was just listening to a podcast where they're talking about how birth control varies so much person to person. And a GLP-1 is exactly the same. It varies 150% person to person. My experience will be totally different from every single other person who has ever tried the exact same medication that I'm putting in my body, more or less. That said, it did exactly what it was supposed to. I am now down 180 pounds. I have gone from 330 to 150, give or take, good or bad day, but 150 pounds. I literally am I'm utter disbelief every single day. Every single time I go shopping and I buy a size small, every time I don't know, can cross my legs like I am now, or I go buy a pair of jeans and I'm so used to buying a size 24 and now I'm buying a size 8, or I fit in the little spots, or I don't have to suck in and scoop past people, or it's just like the craziest things. I really truly never thought, and I'm not like, people continue to say like, oh, you look so good, but you were so beautiful before. You look so, and I was like, I know, I'm not doubting. And I was a confident girl then. I'm a confident girl now. I think everyone should be confident in their own skin. I just had the means to try this medicine, and the medicine, like I said, did what it was supposed to. And this is where I'm at. I have now restarted the process of plastic surgery, which will be in episodes coming in a couple months. I have surgery scheduled for this spring to get my arms worked on. And then, then we'll work our way down. We'll do the boobs, the stomach, the legs, the whole works. But we're starting with the arms. Plastic surgery has been rescheduled. My original goal weight was 180, and I hit 180, and then I was like, okay, we're gonna do 165 because that would put me in a healthy BMI. We hit 165, and then now we're down to like the 150 to 155, give or take on the day, but that's kind of where I'm maintaining. For my height, that's a very healthy weight for me to be staying at. So I think, long story short, if you're thinking about doing it, do it. Also, I haven't mentioned this at all in the whole episode, but I didn't just take the shot and sit on the couch. It is so important. You got to lift weights. I was lifting weights. I was doing walks and runs. Pilates. I was walking with a weighted vest, an inclined walk with a weighted vest. I was drinking I was doing 120 grams of protein a day. I'm drinking 100 to 150 ounces of water a day. I'm taking my fiber, my multivitamin, my zinc, my calcium, my colostrum, my multivitamin, my selenium, I'm doing all the things. I'm hitting my protein goals, and I don't eat fried food. I don't eat gluten anymore. I am on an anti-inflammatory, low calorie, high protein diet. I did the work. It's not like I took this shot and it's magic and it's the answer to all things. It's like, you got to do the work still. It's mentally draining to, the ups and downs of weight loss, because then it's like, then I get a sudden sweet tooth and you feel guilty about it now. I've started weaning off the medicine as I've hit my goal weight, and I'm hoping to one day get off of it. But now it's like my sugar cravings are back, and now I want the ice cream and the candies and the cookies. And now the hard part starts again, because all the medicine does is get your mind to quiet down. So it's not a be all, fix all, end all to weight loss, but like, it got me where I needed to be. And now I have to start the next part of my journey, which is maintaining and figuring out a balance without the medicine, getting off the medicine, or getting to a maintenance dose. There's a lot to it. We did the first chapter. Now we got the rest of my life to worry about. But yeah, there will be more details specifically about the GLP-1, about this, about that, about the things that helped me along the way, why strength training and things like Pilates are so important if you're trying to tone up and lose weight, and why they work differently than just cardio, which I never really knew or thought much about. But I hope this was a fun first episode for y'all. We're just getting started. I got to get in the swing of things. Sorry, this is a little chaotic and a little kind of all over the place. I started with an interesting story. I hope you enjoy it. But Happy New Year once again. I'll see you guys in 2 weeks with the clean edit, or the deep clean edit. And I will see you guys this upcoming Thursday with the Cozy Up Pod.